Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. This is Taliesin McKnight, and today I'm going to show you how to draw your own Shem Angel Pentacle. This will serve as a link between you and the angel, and also can be used as a point of focus during your experiments in which you try to have a communication with the angel. Again, we're using an old technology, which is old ceremonial magic, as it was practiced over the centuries. And we're going to try out some experiments or operations, which were similar to how they were done, a few centuries ago in some regards. Some aspects, it's an innovation, but we're trying to go off of the tradition. So, today I'll show you how to make your own Shem Angel Pentacle. And we'll also look at what exactly a pentacle is as well. We'll go a little bit into that. And of course, we're going to continue our reading of Agrippa on geomancy. This text is really interesting because it's a geomancy book ascribed to Cornelius Agrippa. Now, many people believe that this was actually not written by Agrippa. Okay, so that's something, there's a lot of speculation, Many people call this Pseudo-Agrippa, this book on geomancy. However, some people also believe that this may have actually been associated with Agrippa. So that's really up to individual interpretation. But at any rate, it is a 16th century text on geomancy. So, watching these videos, you're getting a little bit of a dose of a 16th century book on geomancy, okay? We're going to read through this text together. Now, we're going to be reading the 1655 Robert Turner English translation of Agrippa. This is put together as part of his quote-unquote fourth book, okay? This was published in the latter part of the 16th century. So, we're going to be reading this 16th century text on classical magic. So in these videos, we're going to learn a little bit about how magic was practiced, and we're going to be reading some works from the 16th century. So how is everyone doing today? I hope everyone's having a lovely day today. Okay. So, let me see here. All right. How is everyone doing today? So, first of all, we've got some homework again, okay? We've got some homework. Now, you could apply this. Today we're doing a little bit more Renaissance magic. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready to do some Renaissance magic? Already, y'all are practicing geomancers at this point. Watching these videos, you're already practicing geomancers. You would be doing something very similar to a Renaissance mage. Doing a divination. So today we're going to go into how to make a pentacle of the spirits that we're working with. And so in this case, of course, we're working with the 72 Shem angels. Okay? So today I'm going to show you how to make a pentacle. Okay? Now, what is a pentacle? A pentacle, oh, by the way, we're going to do a little magic together. Okay? You're going to need pen and paper. Yes, I said it, sirs and madams, pen and paper. Now, we will get to the more elaborate equipment, such as wands and things like that later on in the videos, okay? For right now, our magic tools are pen and paper, sirs and madams. So if you've been watching my videos here lately, we've been doing a little geomancy. Today, I've got something a little extra for y'all, if you are down. So today, if you will do this with me, we're going to make a Shem Angel Pentacle. Now today we're going to be doing this with the current Shem Angel based upon the sun's location in the tropical zodiac right now is Yael. Yael. So today I will be showing you how to make an angel pentacle with Yael. However, and I'll also teach you how to work with these pentacles. I'll talk about how to use them, but Yael. However, you could use this method with any other angel. So, If you're watching later on or you're watching a week later and some timing that AIL wouldn't make sense, I want you to do this exercise with me, but with whatever other angel that you're working with, okay? So be sure and have a pen and paper ready. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw a double circle, okay? You're going to get your pen and paper and we're going to do a double circle. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a link between you and the Shem angel, okay? It is a way to communicate. Now, there's nothing lasting or binding in this link. It's not that kind of link. What I mean when I say link, it's just a way for you to communicate with the angel. It's a way for you to start attuning with its energies. So think of this pentacle as a way for you to begin connecting with the energies of this angel through a symbol. So that is when I say a magical link. Okay, let's look at it this way. If we look at sympathetic magic or we look at different forms of magic as it's been practiced over the centuries, the link may be an item. Let's say you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do, you would use an article of clothing of the person you're trying to affect or whatever else, okay, in that type of magic. A link is something that connects you with someone else, okay? In classical magic and working with spirits, okay, we're talking about the way magic was practiced centuries ago. And working with spirits, the link would be something that gives you, it's like a telephone number, okay? It gives you an ability to communicate with the spirit. So, this symbol will allow you, okay, if you have a pen and paper, you would just make a double circle. This symbol will allow you to begin to connect a little bit with the Shem angel, okay? So I'm going to talk about this with you. Now, what is going to go in here could be various things, okay? And by the way, this method could be used to create talismans, okay? Talismans can be used in this method. According to a classical magic standpoint as well. But today, we're going to do a Shem Angel Pentacle together. Now, first of all, what is a pentacle? What does this mean? What does the word pentacle mean? Now, there are different views between some forms of modern magic and a lot of forms of classical magic. There's a distinction in the meaning of a pentacle. Many people today interpret pentacle to mean five-pointed star, like penta, like pentagram, pentacle. Okay, this is something very popular in modern magic. It's something very popular in neo-paganism. We see it in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, okay? Which was created by Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith, who were both initiates of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. They had the suit of pentacles, okay? So let's try to back up a little bit here. Pentacle in the Key of Solomon has nothing to do with a five-pointed star, but they're called pentacles, okay? Any of these talismans that you see in the Key of Solomon, they're referred to as pentacles. But there's no five-pointed star. Why? Why in the Key of Solomon are there all these, they're basically talismans. They're referred to as pentacles. And then, of course, we have the Grand Pentacle of Solomon from the Heptameron. These are called pentacles, but there's no five-pointed star. So this creates a little bit of confusion in the occult community. Many people are like, well, how come this figure does not have a five-pointed star, penta, but yet it's called a pentacle? So this is why. There are different ways of looking at what a pentacle is, okay? So this idea of a pentacle being a five-pointed star, and based on all of that, this comes from the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And like I said, Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith, who created the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, that when they published their deck, they had the suit of pentacles, okay? And pentacles identified as kind of like an earth magic tool, okay? An earth magic tool, or an elemental tool of earth, okay? This idea of wands, swords, pentacles, and cups, that these create like four elemental tools, okay? You see this in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and then you see it in some forms of Wicca and neo-paganism. So this is something that developed in the later part of the 19th century. The later part of the 19th century, we have this idea of elemental tools. Can anyone find evidence of 4 elemental tools prior to, let's say, the 19th century? It'd be really hard. You don't see elemental tools. You don't see a wand of fire, a cup of water, a pentacle of earth, sword of air. You don't see that in any of these old, you don't really see that in these old grimoires or in the PGM. So where does that come from, these 4 elemental tools? Where do you get this from? Well, we see it with the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. We see it in some of this the 19th century occultism. But pentacle, when we're talking about classical magic, has nothing to do with the 5-pointed star, okay? Anything that, it's like a talisman is a pentacle. So it's a little bit of a different form of meaning. Another etymology of pentacle is that it comes from the Middle French pentacle. Okay, pent means hanging. Pentacle means hanging from the neck. Okay, so the Latin word pendere means to hang. Pendere means to hang. Okay, hang to, col, hang to the neck, or hanging from the neck, pentaculo, which was Latinized as pentaculum. So anyways, you'll notice that, okay, you'll see things that do not have a 5-pointed star referred to as pentacles. And this is why. In the Key of Solomon, they're called pentacles, okay? So you see pentacles is used in a little bit of a different way. It refers to a talisman, or in this case, something that will connect you, give you a way to connect as a magical object. This will connect you with an angel. It'll give you a way to kind of access a little bit more of that angel. So we're going to do that together. So that's, I just wanted to make people aware that there are 2 meanings to the word pentacle. And neither way is right or wrong, okay? In a lot of modern magic, pentacle refers to a disc that's an elemental tool of elemental earth, just like wands of fire, air, swords of air, and cups of water, okay? And then you have the pentacle, okay? That is a modern magic thing, okay? The other form of the word pentacle has nothing to do with a 5, like penta, 5-pointed star necessarily. The another form of pentacle, a lot of classical magic, like the Pentacles of Solomon, or the Pentacles, whatever pentacle from whatever text. Okay, this is a Shem Angel Pentacle that we're talking about. Now, we're going to talk about the Pentacles of Shem Angels and how we can do this. Now, there are various methods, there are various traditions. When dealing with the Shem Angels, we're dealing with something over the centuries. Different people have worked with these beings over the centuries in different ways. Think of it this way. People have been calling out to the same 72 names with the same verse and the same all of these things for centuries. Over the centuries, people have been having experiences with these entities. As a way, like, I'm going to tap into the 72 angels of the Shem HaMephoresh, and I'm going to communicate, and I'm going to have an experience. People have been doing this over the centuries. So various traditions have evolved, okay? Now, one that is kind of a modern tradition, when I say modern, then I'm talking about, like, the 1700s, 1800s, okay? We have the Divine Cabal. In the 1800s, the Divine Cabal, we have sigils of the 72 angels of the Shem HaMephoresh. A lot of times people ask me, they're like, but where are the sigils? Where are the sigils of the 72 angels? Well, they're found in the Divine Cabal, okay? The Divine Cabal. Now, where can you get a copy of this? Chi Roi Hua, I hope that I pronounced that right. Chi Roi Hua has published a Shem Angel grimoire, and he has he has the Divine Cabal. He has a translation. Now, I think it's kind of complicated with this book because a lot of times it's not available for purchase. Okay, a lot of times it's just not available. You can't buy it. And then we have different digitized manuscripts, okay, that have survived and passed on. These manuscripts have been passed on through all these years, okay. I've been primarily using one of these manuscripts that's been digitized, that's written in cursive, okay, it's written in cursive, transcribed by Henry Lawson, Henry Leah, okay. This guy, he transcribed, I've got his handwriting. I've been reading it. It's what I've been referencing. In fact, I've been giving links to this text throughout my, a lot of my posts. It's it's part of the Welcome collection. Okay, it's part of the Welcome collection. Welcome manuscript 3203. Welcome manuscript 3203. But you have to be able to read the Latin. I mean, not the Latin, the cursive. Okay, it's in English, but it's in cursive. And then we have a French text, okay? The Sacrae Magica. Yeah, we have the Divine Cabal in French as well as another manuscript. So it's actually a pretty interesting text, this grimoire, because it's actually a dream magic grimoire. Now, I don't really go into that in my videos at this point, at least. I might in the future. However, just for your information, the Divine Cabal is a dream magic text, okay? I don't really use this method right now, but what you would do, but I have used it years ago. What you do is you take the sigil of the angel, the Shem angel, and you put it under your pillow, okay? And you try to go to sleep and have an interaction in your dreams. So that is the Divine Cabal method. Now, and then there's, but there's other information in there as well. You know, you have the timing, you have the offices of the 12 zodiacal angels, and all this type of thing. So it's a very interesting text. But the Divine Cabal has the sigils of the 72 angels that come down to us from this time period. Okay, so if anyone wants to work with those Divine Cabal sigils, you can do that. Now, here's the thing. There are some rumors, there is some talk about these sigils being diabolical, about people getting sick, people getting hurt using them, things like that. This is talked about by Robert Ambelain. Robert Ambelain pretty much just plagiarized Lazar-Lenain and or plagiarized all this, okay. He plagiarized Lazar-Lenain's Le Science Kabbalistique, the science of Kabbalah. And but Robert Ambelain, he puts a warning that people get sick using these sigils, that he recommends not using the sigils. So there's a lot of fear out there with the Shem angels with these sigils. Now, I put that out there for each and every person to come to their own conclusion, okay? I just like to put the information out there and people can draw their own conclusions. But there is some talk about these sigils of the 72 angels of the Shem HaMephoresh being diabolical and people getting hurt and things like that. However, Ambelain was using a corrupted form of these sigils from an Arsenal manuscript. So, the manuscript that he was working with, the sigils he was using were corrupted. They were altered, okay? So they were changed. They were not really what the spirits had revealed or given. So anyways, this is all just put out there for anyone that wants to look into all of this. Now, what do I do? Me personally, I don't use the sigils. I look at them as a later addition. I don't work with them, but they are there for those that want to use them. What do I do? So what I use is kind of an alternative tradition. I use the method of Dr. Rudd in how he made the link with the angel. What he did is he put the name of the angel in Hebrew and the psalm verse in Latin. However, so what Dr. Rudd does, by the way, another thing about pentacles is normally there is a circle. They're round. You see this a lot. Look at the Solomonic pentacles. They're a disc. They're all discs. Okay. But anyways, So we're going to make a pentacle today, classical magic. You're classical mages already. Getting into that classical magic, y'all. All right. So today we're going to be making the pentacle of this Shem angel. Okay, and this will help you to have a connection with the angel. So this is my method. Dr. Rudd would put the name of the angel in Hebrew, and then he would put the psalm verse. But the way he would do it, he would put the Latin psalm verse in the center, and then in the outer ring, he would put the names of the angel. I do the opposite, which is also resonant with the tradition. It's the same basic concept. I put the name in Hebrew. See, the name itself is a connecting link. These are angels of the name, okay? So that's also something to consider. These are angels of the name. The name is a link. This is what Dr. Rudd, and I don't think anybody doubts that Dr. Rudd established contact, okay? I mean, Dr. Rudd is calling on the angels to basically control and work with, goetic demons from the Ars Goetia and things like that. It's Dr. Rudd's method. So I think, yeah, he was making contact with the Shem angels. What did he do? He put the psalm verse in Latin and put the name of the angel in Hebrew. Okay? So that was a magical link. The name, these are angels of the names. The names are connecting links. And this is the method that I use that is based on the Dr. Rudd's tradition, is to use the name of the angel in Hebrew and psalm verse. Now, Dr. Rudd was a magician that lived in the 1600s, okay? So we're going back to the 1600s. Dr. Thomas Rudd, okay? This is from the 1600s, and he was working with the 72 angels of the Shem HaMephoresh. So this kind of tradition of working with the angels in this way is about 400 years old. Okay, so Dr. Rudd used this method. This is about 400 years old, this tradition of using the Shem angel name and then the psalm verse in Latin. This is what was used 400 years ago. It's what I use and what I encourage. So, now, I put all this information out there. So those are the two main methods. You want to work with Shem angel sigils or whatever, you could use the sigils of Linane. I would not use the ones from the Arsenal manuscript. I would use the ones from the Welcome 3203 manuscript if you decide to do that. Make sure it's from the Divine Cabal. If you want to use the Divine Cabal sigils, you can do that. Alternatively, you can do what I do, which is actually an older tradition. Okay, Dr. Rudd comes from the 1600s. This is an older way. This is older than the other way, is to use the angel name in Hebrew and then the psalm verse. Okay, it's what I do, and I've had really good results. And I've helped a lot of people to do this, and the people that have responded back to me and commented, they've always told me that they've had really good results using this method. So it's something that I've used and many other people have used. So I put all this information out there so you can kind of find your own approach to making your spirit sigils. Now, to be complete, I also wanted to add that there are 72 talismans that are often referred to, the 72 talismans that are also put out there. These were largely just based upon pentacles from the Tos Grecos, Key of Solomon, and somehow they just got the names of the 72 angels of the Shem HaMephoresh attached. So, if people want to work with those as well, they're like these 72 Shem angel talismans of Eliphas Levi, okay? But if you look at these talismans, a lot of them are inspired by or seem to come from Solomonic pentacles that had nothing to do with Shem angels. It had nothing to do with Shem angels. They're Solomonic pentacles from Tos Grecos family. So if you're dealing with Solomonic pentacles that were based on something else and somehow they get associated with the 72 Shem angels, whatever the case may be, I have not worked with them, so I can't even speak from an experiential level. That right there by itself, it's something that comes from the Tos Grecos, and I haven't heard great things, but I might try it out. But that's also available So these are actually 3 methods if you want sigils. You could try out the 72 talismans of the 72 geniuses associated with Agrippa and all that. Okay, you could try that out. But just realize that some of those seem to come from the Key of Solomon. They're pentacles that had nothing to do with Shem angels, okay? You could try it out. You could see how it works. Or you have the Lazar Linane's, the Divine Cabal method. Or you can do it like I do based on Dr. Rudd, okay? The way that I do it is 400 years old, and you don't have to worry about is this a corrupted sigil or anything else, okay? If you want to play it safe, I would say go with my method. Okay, if you want to play it safe, go with my method. If you're worried about some of the rumors or anything else, you know, it's up to you to decide as an individual. But if you want to play it safe, go with my method. Now, that's not why I use this method. I just use this method because it's what I've always used, okay? But anyways, so we're going to go the safe approach anyways. We're always going to go safe in these things. So what we're going to do, right now, we're working with the Shem angel. The current Shem angel is Yael. Okay? And we're going to make a, if you have a pen and paper, I encourage you to get a pen and paper or a Sharpie and paper. We are going to make a Shem Angel Pentacle. Okay? This is going to help you to connect with this angel. We're going to do this together. Now, this current angel, Yael, again, we're using this method of timing with the Shem angels in which we follow the sun through the tropical zodiac. This Shem angel governs from 0 to until 5 degrees of Pisces. This Shem angel, using this timing, will govern up until tomorrow around 9:31 p.m. Central Time. Okay, p.m. Central Time. So around around a little later than now, tomorrow, it's going to switch to the next angel. So right now, if you're watching live, or right now, this is the time to work with Yael. Okay? So think of it this way. We are doing magic together. Okay? Right now, people around the world that work with the 72 Shem angels, people around the world that use this type of timing, right now, all of us together are working with Yael. Now, some people are of the opinion that when many people around the earth all are focused on the same thing at the same time, that we create a type of how do I put that? We're tapping into the same thing. We're creating that group energy, okay? So when people around the world are all focused on the same spiritual goal, we're now creating this type of loop, okay? We're creating this type of thing. So right now, around the world, anyone that works with the 72 angels of the Shem HaMephoresh using this timing, right now we are working with Yael, okay? Now, I'm working with Yael, and any of y'all that are watching these videos, I encourage you during this time, today and tomorrow, try working with Yael. Okay, try it out. And by the way, let me know in the comments if you do a ritual with Yael today or tomorrow. Be sure and go in the comments. Now, you want to be careful what you share about your experience, okay? This is an important detail. Let's say you have an amazing experience. There is a tradition that you're not supposed to really talk about your experience with others freely unless it's okayed by the angel. I know that may sound kind of silly to some people, but I just wanted to throw that in there as part of the tradition. Normally, you ask the angel at the end of a communication, can I talk about this? Is this okay to talk about? Okay. That kind of goes back to aphorism 1 of the Arbitel. You know, if you want to know secrets, know how to keep secret things secretly. Just secret in the sense that it is sacred to you. Maybe it's not for everyone's eyes and ears. This is something very personal to you on your spiritual path and your spiritual journey. So, I encourage people today and tomorrow to work with Yael. Okay? I'm working with Yael. People around the planet right now are working on Yael. And you are putting yourself with all those other people right now that are working with this Shem angel, okay? So let's say that these timing mechanisms are false and they're not even based on anything. Just the fact that there is a striving around the earth, not a striving, but a seeking after, a yearning for, a spiritual zeal for this angel around the earth at this time, this itself becomes a thing of power. Okay. And then, of course, we could try different timing methods and no timing. Okay. But for those of you that are following along with these videos, I encourage you to work with the current Shem Angel with me, okay? So we're going to work through these Shem Angels together. If you're watching my videos, I encourage you to do some homework, do some Shem Angel magic at home, y'all, okay? Don't just watch my videos. I want y'all to get your hands dirty, do some Shem Angel magic, y'all. Get out there and start contacting those Shem Angels, y'all. All right? So, if you're working with this angel, we're going to make a Shem Angel Pentacle to the current angel, which is A Yael. Okay? Now, if you don't know Hebrew, you can write this in English, okay, which is E-I-A-E-L. Okay? A Yael. E-I-A-E-L. If you have a paper and pen, I encourage you to write this down. A-Yael. It's E-I-A-E-L. A-Yael. Okay. A-Yael. And we know that this is how it's spelled because we have Agrippa. Agrippa wrote it this way, E-I-A-E-L. Okay. Dr. Rudd wrote it this way. The Divine Cabal wrote it this way. Lazar Lenane wrote it this way. So from Agrippa to everywhere else, A-Yael. Okay. And then, of course, if you're watching this video later on, like let's say the time of this angel is past, basically if you're watching this video any later than 2 days from now, okay, any later than tomorrow, then you can adapt this with any angel, okay? So right now I'm doing A-Yael, but you can use this with any angel, all right? You can do this with any of them. So A-Yael governs from 0 until 5 degrees of Pisces, okay? And this is the tropical zodiac. I encourage people to use different forms use whatever feels good to you, whatever feels natural. This is your spiritual journey, no one else's. If someone wants to use sidereal, then they should use sidereal if that's what they want to do and try it out, see what happens. I use tropical. That's what the grimoires used. Okay, it's what Agrippa used. I use tropical. A-Yael governs from 0 until 5 degrees of Pisces. The attribute of God. Now, so what does this mean? This is important. Shem means name in Hebrew. Shem means name. So Shem angel literally means angel of the name or name angel. Okay, what is the name here? Aya. Aya is the name of God associated with this angel. E-I-A. Aya. 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 Okay? And then again, there's always a name of God of 3 letters. That's why they're called Shem angels. They're name angels, okay? There's 72 names of God that are extracted from Exodus chapter 14, verses 19 through 21. 72 names of God of 3 letters each. This name of God is Aya. And to the 72 names are added El or Yah at the end. In this case, El is added. A-Yael. So Aya is the name of God. The attribute, according to Athanasius Kircher's Oedipus Aegyptiacus, is God, the delight of the children of mankind. Okay, God, the divine attribute is the delight of the children of mankind, of humanity, the delight of the children of humanity. So there's this idea of the divine joy, the divine delight that is associated with this angel. Okay, so Athanasius Kircher, this is in his 1654 Oedipus Aegyptiacus. Okay, again we're going to the 17th century text with the Shem angels. 1654 Athanasius Kircher's Oedipus Aegyptiacus. Okay. This is Oedipus Aegyptiacus from 1654. The attribute is in Latin Deus deliciae filiorum hominum. God, the delight of the children of mankind, or God, the delight of the children of humanity. Okay, so what is the psalm verse? What is the psalm verse of this angel? The psalm verse, according to Athanasius Kircher, is in the Latin, or in the English, Psalm 37:4 in the English, based on the Masoretic text. Psalm 37:4, the psalm verse associated with this angel is, "Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart." Wow. So the divine attribute is God, the delight of the children of humanity. That God's the delight, our joy. Okay, that's the divine attribute. The psalm verse, "Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart." So delight in the divine presence, and what you need will come to you. Delight in the divine presence, okay? So what you would do is, and this is how this can be a contemplative path, okay? A contemplative path as well, because we are walking in the way of the angels, okay? As they affect us more, we begin walking in their way. What is the contemplative path? Well, the contemplative path with these there's the ritual path. Okay, the ritual path is where you try to call the angel and have a direct communication. That's the ritual path. The contemplative path with these angels is to contemplate the divine attribute, the attribute of God embodied in the angel, contemplate the psalm verse, think of the name, okay? And your mind goes back and forth between the verse and the attribute while you think of the qualities of the God, the qualities of this angel, and you're really kind of internalizing and bringing yourself, your consciousness, you're coming more and more and more closer to what does this mean? You're piercing closer and closer into that angel, okay? And of course, these two can be used together. You could try to focus on the angel. What is the verse? What is the attribute? What is the name? Okay, these three things, the name of the angel, the verse, and the attribute, these three things go together, okay? So think of these as a mighty triangle. With the Shem angels, the name Shem means name, Shem, okay? The name is important, Ayah. Okay, A-Y-L. The name, the attribute, and the verse. The name, attribute, and psalm verse. These three things. And the psalm verse usually traditionally comes with the call. Okay? So A-Y-L. This genius dominates changes, the preservation of monuments. Now this office portion comes from Lazar Lenain's La Science Kabbalistique. Okay? Or the science of Kabbalah. This genius dominates changes, the preservation of monuments, and the longevity of life. It influences the occult sciences. It makes the truth known to those who call upon it in their work. The person born under this influence will become enlightened by the Spirit of God, will love solitude, and will be distinguished in the high sciences, principally astronomy, physics, and philosophy. Okay? So the divine cabal, what does the divine cabal say about this angel? Ayael governs from the 18th of February to the 22nd inclusively. This very slightly dependent on the year. This year technically, because our calendar does not exactly follow the revolution of the earth around the sun, okay? That's why we have leap years, okay? But tomorrow evening, it'll be switching to the next angel. Okay. So, but right now, Ayael. Okay, so let's take a moment. Okay, tomorrow evening will be the end of this angel's time using this timing method. So let's take tonight, this evening, let's take tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon to just think about this angel. And by the way, you don't have to do a big elaborate ritual. You can just try prayer. That's right. Just pray to the angel. Just call out his name, Ayael, and just talk to him, okay? It can't hurt. Call out the name Ayael. It's not like these angels. Oh, you can only do it in a big, elaborate ritual space with a bunch of candles and regalia, you know? Don't talk to me unless you're in a magic robe. No. Now, if you want to have a big, powerful experience, you can do so after fasting and cleansing and robing and incense and candlelight, and you're in this, you know, purified ritually and all these things. You can do that, okay? So that's really to help you be a better vessel to have a more impactful experience, okay? But you can still talk to the angel. So I just want to make that clear. Let's say you're having a busy day and you can't really get around to doing a big ritual. Let's say you plan to do that big ritual and it just doesn't happen. Say a little prayer. You know, it can't hurt. Hey, Yael, can you help me with so-and-so? Something within its office. Ask for something. These angels are there for us to ask for things. Ask for something in his office. What is his office? He dominates changes. Okay, so change right there. Yael. The preservation of monuments. I don't know how that, like the Sphinx and Giza or something. I don't know. And the longevity of life. Okay. You can just ask for long life. So if you can think of nothing else under his office, it can't hurt. Why not? Ask Yael for long life. Why not? Okay, if you can't think of anything else within his office, light a candle, say a prayer. Don't even light a candle. Just say a prayer. Yael, please grant me long life. Grant me long life. You don't have to control the angels. You don't have to do any summon it in the name. No. Yael, please grant me long life. It's simple. Okay? So there are many approaches to this type of thing. Okay? Magic can be devotional and simple, you know? Or it could be elaborate and big ceremonies, okay? So I want people to try everything and see what happens, okay? I do recommend that people keep a record, okay, that they write down what they're doing and what happens, okay? In case you have any experiences, whatever. And you can look back on that, okay, as part of your, like, magic history. So, Yael. So, here we go. First things first. Now, if you don't know the Hebrew, you could put it in English, okay? So don't worry, don't be intimidated if you don't know Hebrew and Latin, like, oh, I can't do magic. I don't know Latin and Hebrew. How could I do magic? I don't know Latin and Hebrew. Well, obviously that's just silly. I like to use Latin and Hebrew because I've been doing this a long time and I just really like it, okay? But this is a skill that you shouldn't feel intimidated or feel like your pentacles are any less powerful. Okay, Latin and Hebrew, they're not like some magical languages that if it's not written in, you know, it's not like they're these powerful, like, oh, it's not in Hebrew, sorry. No. Okay, so don't feel intimidated. I'm going to do this hardcore way because that's how I like it. But if you write the angel name in English in the center, and then you write the psalm verse in English around it, then you're good to go, okay? I'm telling you, you're good to go if you write in English the name of the angel and then write around it the psalm verse in English. Do the whole thing in English or Spanish or whatever language, okay? I like to do it this way just because that's what I'm accustomed to, okay? All right, so whether in English or Hebrew, we're going to put the name of the angel. So everybody's got their pen and paper ready, right? What I want you to do is I want you to trace a double circle, okay? Trace a double circle. So first of all, I need everyone to take their pen and paper and trace a double circle. I want you to do this with me now because we're going to make a link with an angel right here, okay? You're going to walk out of this video a Renaissance mage, okay? We're going to make it happen, y'all. You're going to be some Renaissance magicians by the time we get it in this video, all right? Renaissance magicians, every one of you, okay? So, I want you to take a pen and paper right now. I'm going to sip my coffee. I want y'all to take pen and paper and make a double circle right now, okay? I'm talking to you, the viewer, okay? I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Yes, you. Yes, 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 you. Yes, yes, you. It'd be funny if someone was responding back, me? And I'm like, yes. Anyway, I'm going to wait on y'all, okay? I want y'all to take pen and paper, make a double circle, and we're going to make a link to the Shem Angel. We're going to do this. We're doing magic, okay? I'm going to wait on y'all. Go ahead. Draw pen and paper, double circle. It's good to use a compass if you want it to look all professional. Good to use a compass. But if not, by hand, you know? Yeah. All right. Everybody, just make a double circle. Again, this is mine. Okay. So y'all can copy off of me if you want, you know. You could cheat if you want. You can copy off my paper. So I just want everyone to make a double circle with their pen. Okay? Now, this could also be used as a meditative device to communicate with the angel. This could be used as a meditative device to communicate with the angel, and it could be used as for communication and all of that. So be sure and take your pen and paper and make a double circle. Right now, for today's purposes, you can just do it free-handed. Later on, if you wanted to do it, like make it look real professional. Right now, freehand's fine. Later on, you want to make it look more professional, use a compass, okay? You could use paint markers, you can use different things. All right, so everybody's got their double circle now, okay? Do we match now? Everybody's got their double circle. So now, either in English or Hebrew, either way, English is every bit as valid, or Spanish or whatever. We're going to write the name of the angel, okay? This angel is Eiyael. Now, if you're doing it in English, it's E-I-A-E-L. So if you're doing it in English, I just want you to write E-I-A-E-L, all caps. Big. I want you to fill up this middle space with the name Eiyael. Again, it's E-I-A-E-L. If you're doing this in English instead of Hebrew, you would do it right now in English. E-I-A-E-L. Okay, so right in this middle, big letters E-I-A-E-L. Okay, Eiyael. Write it in here. And if you're going to do it in Hebrew with me, it's Aleph, Yod, Ayin, Aleph, Lamed. Okay? Here, I'm just going to do this real quick. I want y'all to pardon my horrible Hebrew, but I'm going to write it in Hebrew, or you can do it in English like I said. All right. All righty, y'all. I'm almost done here, y'all. All right, are y'all writing it in English or Hebrew? Either way. For you hardcore people that want to do it. All right. All right, so I have mine. Okay, pardon my Hebrew. Oh, I forgot. It's always backwards. This dang camera, y'all. Eiyael. Okay, it's Aleph. I think it reversed it from right to left. So Aleph, Yod, Ayin, Aleph, Lamed, Eiyael. Okay. Now we know it's pronounced Eiyael because that's what Agrippa has. Agrippa, E-I-A-E-L. Agrippa says that. Dr. Rudd says E-I-A-E-L. Okay. The Divine Cabal says E-I-A-E-L. Lazar Linane says E-I-A-E-L. So that's the tradition, and is that in Latin letters or English letters, whatever, E-I-A-E-L. That's how you do it. Eiyael. Okay. All right. I think it does the reverse thing with my camera, but whatever. I'm figuring out the kinks, but A-Y-L, all right? Now, what we're going to do is now you have the name of the angel in the center of this, right? This is your Shem Angel Pentacle, all right? We are doing our first Shem Angel Pentacle together. This will serve as your link with the angel. You can use it as a meditative device. Okay, you can even scry with it, okay, and try to have a communication with the angel. So very cool stuff. So you have the name of the angel. Now, you're going to write the divine attribute, or you could just write, let's just do the psalm verse, okay? We're going to do the psalm verse of the angel. All right. The psalm verse. All right. Actually, let's do it this way. We're doing this live, y'all. And then we're about to get into some geomancy after this. Wow. Okay. So it's been, how long have I been going here? Let me see here. Yeah, it's been about an hour. Where was I here? I'm so sorry, y'all. Oh, yeah. This is what I was going for. So, A-Ya-El. So, the psalm verse. All right. So, first of all, let's put the, okay, God, the delight of the children of mankind, is the divine attribute. I'm going to put this in Latin. I just really like the Latin. Let me see here. Deus Delicii. We're doing magic together, y'all. We're doing magic together. Heck yeah. All right. So I just put in Latin the divine attribute, Deus Delicii filiorum hominum, God, the delight of the children of mankind, or the children of men, or of humanity. God, the delight of the children of humanity. Now, if you don't know Latin, then you can just put God, the delight of the children of humanity there. I know it sounds weird to write, but if you don't have to put the divine attribute, by the way, that's optional. I like to do it as just an extra link. It is totally in line with the tradition to just put the angel name and psalm verse, okay? So just the angel name and psalm verse is totally traditional. This is where you get into like personal likes and dislikes. Me personally, I like to add the divine attribute. So, in Latin it sounds good, in English maybe. God, the delight of the children of men, or God, the delight of the children of humanity. I would write that there. God, the delight of the children of humanity. Because this is the quality of God expressed in the angel, okay? And this will help you also, could, as a meditative device if you wanted to. That is a modern magic thing, by the way. That is nothing traditional about that, using it as a meditative device. But many magicians nowadays are working with these things in new ways, okay? I just wanted to make clear that that's not part of the tradition. It's a kind of a new thing. But people nowadays are starting to use these things as meditative devices, okay? So you could put the divine attribute. This is the quality of God in the angel. God, the delight of humanity, the children of humanity. God, the delight of the children of humanity. Just write it down at the bottom. God, the delight of the children of humanity. Okay? Now, next we're going to do what we call a separation marker. I do this because it's common in grimoires. I do like a little red cross thing. But if you want to do like Crosses are very common. You see it in a lot of grimoires, like they divide sections of a magic circle or whatever, you know. So I like to do just this like stylized cross, but you can do it however you want. I do a stylized cross. That's my divider that I use on my pentacles, and it's totally consonant with the tradition. But you can use whatever you like as a divider, okay? But this will divide the divine attribute from the rest of the Shem Angel Pentacle, okay? This is not very common, I don't think. I don't think people often do magic together. I'm like a magic ball bros. We're going to make a little happy, little diviner for our little Shem Angel Pentacle. Nice little happy cloud. Little happy cloud. Alright, y'all. I'm the Bob Ross of magic. Alright. So I like to put these little, this will divide the divine attribute from the psalm verse, which will go up over this, okay? Now, this is only one way to design a Shem Angel Pentacle, okay? This is only one way to divide it, to design a Shem Angel Pentacle. The way that I do it is super traditional in many ways, but it's very simple. This is my method, which you guys can adapt as you like. We have the name of the angel in Hebrew, which again my camera has flipped around. The name of the angel in Hebrew. We have the divine attribute. In English, it would be God, the delight of the children of humanity. God, the delight, like you delight in the children of humanity right there. I did it in Latin. Deus deliciae filiorum hominum. Okay, so I got the Latin. Deus deliciae filiorum hominum. I like to do the name in Hebrew and then around it Latin. And then I have the cross dividers. Now this is my way. Now, up here, we're going to put the psalm verse of the angel. Okay? The psalm verse. We're going to write up here, the psalm verse. So now, if you're doing this with me, you should have the name of the angel, whether that's in English or Hebrew, however. You have the attribute, God, the delight of the children of humanity, with some type of divider. I like to use a cross. It's very simple. Which, if you don't resonate with like a Christian tradition, then why would you do a cross? Well, a cross could also represent like a tau, like finished. Think of it that way. Tau could be like it's at the end, so finished, done. You know, that's the end of this. And tau is also Saturn, which has to do with limits and restriction. So it's like you can see it as a type of magical period. Okay, the tau. Okay, so if you don't resonate otherwise, then yeah, okay. Now the psalm verse. The psalm verse, I put that in Latin. Okay, in Latin, but you could put it in English. Okay. Again, the name in English and then the psalm verse around the whole thing in English is good enough. Let's say you didn't want to do the attribute. You want to put the name of the angel in the center and you just want to write the psalm verse in English all around it. You can do that. Psalm verse around it and then the name in English. That's fine. All in English or Spanish or whatever language. But this is my way that I share with people. I do the name of the angel in Hebrew. I do the divine attribute in Latin with 2 cross dividers. Now I'm going to do the psalm verse in Latin. Okay. And first of all, what is it in English? For those of y'all doing it in English, what is the psalm verse in English? So what I'm about to read to you, okay, you're doing your Shem Angel Talisman. Let's say you wrote this in English, A Yael. You wrote this in English, God, the delight of the children of humanity. You got your dividers. What would you write here? You're going to write what I'm going to tell you now. The psalm verse of this angel in English. You're going to write that here. If you're doing it in English, I'm going to read it to you now. This is going to go in this outer part of the ring. Okay? So, here it is. The psalm verse in English. Eos. Sirs and madams, drum roll. Okay? Isn't this fun? We're doing this together. Okay. So, here we go. We're actually doing this together. It's interactive. So, the psalm verse in English, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. That's kind of hard to... Okay, delight thyself. Okay, I'll do this slowly. Delight thyself, like delight yourself. Be delighted. Delight yourself. Delight thyself, okay? Right, delight thyself. Okay, delight thyself also in the Lord. Okay, so that's the first part. Delight thyself also in the Lord. You're going to write that around this ring here. Delight thyself also in the Lord. Okay, delight thyself also in the Lord. And there's another, right, leave space because this is only half of it. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Delight thyself